Hello, welcome to When the Smoke Clears. I am the Recovery Plug. What's happening, everybody? Well, it's another day in sobriety, another day in recovery. It's another day of spirituality. It's another great day to be alive. How's it going, everybody? Before we get this video started, please, if you would, take a moment with me to take a moment of silence, followed by serenity prayer for the addict who still suffers. So if you would, a moment of silence, please. God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, courage to change the things I can, wisdom to know the difference. Alrighty, man. So how's it going, everybody? It's going pretty good over here in my neck of the woods. I was just thinking about what I wanted to talk about today, and something that kind of been really getting thrown at me as far as for some reason a couple of these meetings that I've been going to, peer support groups, and the literature that I've been reading, this one particular word has been sticking out that I found kind of intriguing that it kept coming up over and over. You know what I mean? And I feel that when things like that happen, when things start appearing in your life more and more, that you notice it, I believe that it's and this is just my personal opinion, I believe that it's a calling. It's a calling from my higher power, that it's something that I need to look into, something that I need to kind of, do a little research on it, maybe dissect it a little bit and see what it is that it's trying to tell me. Maybe it's got some sort of message there. And what I've been seeing a lot and hearing a lot is the word provision, and I thought that was kind of intriguing. You know what I mean? Because I'm like, I'm gonna read something to you guys that I wrote down, and I looked up the word provision, and from the Merriam-Webster's website, it has a definition of provision, the act or process of providing. And it also says the fact or state of being prepared beforehand. And it also says a measure taken beforehand to deal with a need. And I was just kind of really thrown by that it is that's a powerful word. You know what I mean? Provision is a very, very powerful word. And I looked, it was on the BibleHub.com has a thing that it says, provision is a biblical context, refers to the act of God supplying the needs of his people. It encompasses both physical and sustenance and spiritual nourishment. The concept of provision is deeply rooted in the understanding of God as Jehovah Jireh, the name of God, and for me, that's my higher power. That is who I go to when I meditate, when I'm in meditation mode, when I need some guidance, when I need some help. That's who I'm seeking it from. You know what I mean? And let me read this other part to you that I saw on the KJV.com website, which is the King James Version. It says, the act of providing or making previous preparation. And on think.org, it says that it's a provisional guarantee that his presence will always be there, whether you feel it or not. God says, I'm with you. And to me, that is just amazing, because when you're seeking provision, that means it's a thought process of a positive action. You know what I mean? That means you're seeking wisdom. You're seeking serenity. You're seeking a different lifestyle. This is something that you're looking for. You're asking for help. You know what I mean? And it says also that it's a preparation mode. You know what I mean? So if you're dealing with addiction like I was dealing with, if you're dealing with depression, if you're dealing with alcoholism, if you're dealing with whatever it is that you're dealing with in your everyday life, you want some guidance. You know what I mean? Most people want guidance. They hate dealing with things on their own. Nobody does. Nobody likes to deal with problems on their own. When you're dealing with problems, it's always better when you have help. You know what I mean? Always. You know, you'll find it that life is a whole lot smoother when you seek help, my brothers and sisters. That is fact. You know what I mean? Because if you're anything like I am, man, in my journey of addiction, I lived my life my way for a long time. And man, did I wind up, really crashing and burning, if you will. You know what I mean? There was times that I navigated my life pretty good. And then I ultimately veered off the road and just crashed. You know what I mean? I ultimately wound up, losing my job, losing my business, losing my home, losing my family. I wound up in the street and addicted to drugs. You know what I mean? That's when, for me, was rock bottom. That's when I had provision, in my mind. I didn't know it at the time. You know what I mean? I didn't know that I was seeking provision at that time, but I did. I can remember being stuck at a park in the early morning, as I'm being a watch so that somebody else can shoot up drugs while I watch that nobody comes through this little area where we're at. And I'm thinking to myself at that particular moment in time, it's like, God, what am I doing here? I was like, is this where my life ends up? Is this what I'm going to be doing for the rest of my life? Is this as good as it gets? And, at that particular time, I started seeking provision. Like I said, I had no idea that that's what I was doing until I got a clear head and started studying things and living a different way. But at that particular moment in time, I needed something. Like the stuff that I read to you earlier, it says that you're seeking a need. You're asking for something that you need to help you do something else for the better. And at that particular moment in time, I needed guidance. I needed spiritual guidance, and I needed the wisdom to know exactly where I needed to go. Because every single day I would wake up doing the same thing over and over. I was doing things and consuming things into my body that I knew were killing me. I knew that it wasn't good. Every time I put that stuff in my body, I was like, I know that this is wrong, and I know that it's not doing me any good. It's doing me harm. I know that. But I continue to do it. And that there is the insanity of being addicted to drugs. You know what I mean? And it's not something that that I just asked for. It's just something that happened, and unbeknown to me, I had a disease of addiction. I had no idea I did, and because I when I started, I could never stop. You know what I mean? There was occasional periods of stopping, yeah, but ultimately it was something that I always had to have. And at the end of my using days, I found myself using every single day. I mean, it was just part of my ritual. When I would wake up, I had to have it. It was the first thing that I picked up. And then I knew that, okay, dude, you got a problem. Something's not right here. And I'm just grateful to God that that particular day I sought out provision, and I asked my higher power that day, please get me out of this. I'm done doing this type of stuff. I'm done living this way. What do I have to do? Show me which way to go. And it's never going to be the way you want it to go. You know what I mean? It would be great if it was all roses and you know, you just flip the switch and you change from one day to the next, but that's not the way it is. You know what I mean? I had to humble myself and come to terms that, hey, you know what? I got to do something different. And that particular day I asked, I cried, I prayed, I yelled out, and I asked God, help me, show me something, tell me something, put something in my life so that I can move past this ugliness, you know, this darkness in my life. And, you know, lo and behold, when I prayed like that, when I just cried out, unbelievably, man, things happened. And guess what happened the very next day after I did that? The very next day, I wake up in the morning and the first thing, I didn't pick up. The first thing I did was I took a ride somewhere to get some more drugs. And what happened? I get pulled over and I got thrown in jail. You know, I don't know, but to me, I believe that was a divine intervention moment for me, because just the day before I cried out and I asked, and the next day I'm in jail. I'm sitting in jail. I'm out of the environment where I was at, and I'm stuck in jail. Okay, what do I do now? And then I stayed in jail for a while, and it allowed me to clear my mind. It allowed me to sober up. It allowed me to take inventory of where my life is now. What do I got to do? And by the grace of God, things started just coming up into my into my life, and I started changing. You know what I mean? Things started happening, and I never went back. I never went back to that environment where I was at. By the grace of God, I didn't have to. You know what I mean? Because every time I went through something in the next part of my life, there was always something there waiting. You know, I got out of jail, and what was waiting for me was a treatment center. You know what I mean? I didn't go from jail and then go home. I went directly from jail to the treatment center, and I stayed at the treatment center for months. And after I got out of the treatment center, I didn't go home. I didn't go back to where I was at. There was another thing waiting for me after the treatment center, and that was going to this VA transitional facility for veterans that I got sent to after that. And I stayed there for another 6 months. And after I got out of the transitional facility for veterans, I didn't go back to where I was at during the addiction. Something else was waiting for me. There was already something planned out. Something was already in the works without my be knowing. And I got qualified to get an apartment that the VA helped me pick up, which is where I'm at today. You know what I mean? And I didn't go back to the addiction. Now I'm in an apartment with my youngest daughter who lives with me, and I'm here for her too. You know what I mean? And by the grace of God, my higher power, things are getting better, man. And my presence in my family is rubbing off. You know what I mean? My daughter is going through a program that she's doing at the church and is going to get baptized this coming week, and praise the Lord. And I'm very, very excited for her. And I'm very excited that I'm able to be here in the here and now to experience that, because had I been still in the world of addiction, I may not go. Maybe I wouldn't even gotten invited to go celebrate with her. You know what I mean? So I'm just grateful that that's the kind of things, those are the kind of provisions that are in my life today, because I sought out provision in the form of meditation, in the form of prayer, in the form of preparing my life with attending meetings, attending peer support groups, reading literature that helps me, and involving myself in a recovery community, and involving myself in a faith-based community that is there for support and things that I can lean on. And now I'm going through this other part of my life, and when I got into the department, I was like, well, what am I going to do now? You know what I mean? Okay, which way does my life go now? Guess what? I just got an email today that I got accepted to go to this school that I've been trying to get into, and that's my next chapter. My school starts in 2 weeks, and I'm going to be doing a different pathway with that, so that I can earn an income. You know what I mean? And it's just one thing is just going, and it always seems that there's always something there that's being put in front of me that is positive, that is bettering my life for myself and my family. And I'm just grateful that I was able to seek those provisions. You know what I mean? And so when I would hear that word in the meetings and in my peer support groups and in the literature that I'm reading and the podcasts that I watch, this word would just start coming up, and I just started thinking, I was like, man, I really didn't know the definition of the provision. You know what I mean? But when I looked it up, I was like, oh my God, this is amazing. This word is a word that is there, that means that you can do this. Anybody can do this. Anybody can ask for provisions. Anybody can think those provisions and seek that and bring those things and manifest them into your life, so that, because if you say it, if you speak it, you manifest those things into existence. And when you are able to say positive words and not negative ones, you'll be amazed at what manifests in your life through your actions of speaking positive things. And even when you don't know, even if you don't feel that they're helping, it's a process. When you're speaking those positive things into existence, that is the preparing of something that's better to come. And that to me is amazing, because had I known, I had no idea that when I was sitting in a park, being a watch for somebody to do drugs, and then so I could take my turn, and and I'm sitting there homeless and just they're getting high. I didn't know that that's what I was doing, that I was manifesting and I was speaking positive words into an existence, and that it was going to be something that was in preparation, that I was preparing something to come in the future for me to do something better. And so now anything and everything that I speak, as soon as I get up, man, as soon as my eyes wake up, I'm speaking positive words. I don't speak negative words. I speak positive things, think positive things, and those are the kind of things that I say, so that I can manifest things into existence that are positive and action and just spiritual and enlightenment and mindfulness, all of those types of things. It's just great, man. And it's exciting to me, you know what I mean? It's exciting to me that I'm able to do that. And I just thought that I would share that with you guys today, man. And hopefully, you pick up that thing, that mentality, that concept of speaking positive words only into existence, so that your life can change just like mine did. And I appreciate you guys, man. I'm grateful that you guys listen to my podcast, that you guys give me the time. I really appreciate that a lot. My duty here, my due diligence here is to share as many stories as I can that I have gone through, so that it could help another person that has dealt with addiction, that has dealt with, depression, PTSDs, childhood traumatic experiences, anger issues, because I've dealt with all those things in my life. I've gone through all those types of adversities, and, this is one of the things that I've been doing so that my life is moving forward in a positive direction, and I'm able to, conquer goals and set the tone and for positive things in my life and in my family's life. So I appreciate you guys watching, man. I really do. So, at this time, I'd like to ask you guys, please, if you would, give me a thumbs up, hit the like button, give me a comment, and please subscribe to my channel and share my channel, because the more people that, I can reach, the better. And that's the goal, is to reach more people that are dealing with those types of things, so that we can bring them on this side of recovery, positivity, and spirituality. So if you would, please just hit that subscribe button. Just know that it doesn't cost you a thing. All you got to do is tap on the button. And when you do tap on that button, just know that you'll be helping out another veteran like myself, another person dealing with drug addiction, alcoholism, PTSDs, childhood traumatic experience, and those types of things, and those types of neurological brain disorders. And so I really appreciate you guys listening. And I guess until the next time, on When the Smoke Clears, I am the Recovery Plug.